Hello, and welcome to another brief demonstration of new experimental prototype development in the EMF Compare technology at Eclipse. Today we'll look at mixed mode compare and merge, in which a model comprising multiple resources has some content in some resources for which we have a facade model available, and some content for which there is no facade. So, working again with this very simple profile of J2EE applications as we saw in the last demo, now we add some design content to our model in pure UML terms. So once again, we have a very simple model of a J2EE application. It has a couple of beans and some Finder interfaces and things. And what's different this time is now we have a UML design model in which there's a collaboration that has a client role using a connected Finder role, presumably to look up beans in the application. So in the one resource, we have a DSL implemented with a UML profile for which we've plugged in a facade for compare merge purposes, as we saw in the last demo, and another resource that uses this, that references this content, that is just UML. And once again, this is all managed in a Git repository, so why don't we just get things started by having a look at how the master branch has evolved from the previous version. Doesn't matter which of these we open the difference on. So here now we can see that on the UML side of things in the collaboration, we've changed the type of the Finder role of the collaboration from thing by ID to thing by name, which thing by name is a new Finder that was added in the J2EE application and which is described for comparison purposes by this facade model. So that looks good. It gets more interesting when we do three-way comparisons, of course. So let's do that. Here we have, as usual, another branch on which some other changes were made in the same model. So let's try to reintegrate those changes. We'll compare with the working tree. And once again, we flip over to the synchronized view, and now we actually find a conflict and some pseudo-conflicts, which is an interesting detail that needs some working on. So here we see a conflict on the UML side, the Finder role of the collaboration on the master branch was changed to thing by name, and on the experimental branch was changed to this thing by chance Finder, which of course was added in the branch where the master branch added the thing by name. So these aren't actually in conflict, these changes. There's no problem merging the changes from both branches into the merge result, but this is a conflict that needs to be resolved. Now, what would be nice also, and hopefully will be the subject of a future demonstration video, would be to have knowledge of dependencies across these language domains between facade models and models that don't have facades, where of course if I were to choose to accept this change to resolve the conflict, it would require bringing in the Finder that it depends on from the facade side, but whereas we know about these dependencies within the facade model, we don't know about the dependencies across these two different language domains. So that is an area of open for development. In any case, we can accept this change to bring in the new finder, so all of that is all resolved in one operation. And we can say no, what's on the master branch is what we want to keep. So what in fact does this look like then in pure UML terms? We can have a look at that. Once again, we go into the preferences, we disable the J2EE profile for UML facade provider, and we run our merge scenario again. So we'll compare that with the working tree. Again, of course, we still have that conflict, but now everything is presented in UML terms. So we can see how the left and right sides have added their own finders. This change, accepting this change, is contingent on accepting those two changes. That change. And accepting this change is contingent on accepting that one. So here, because it's all in one language for which the dependency and conflict analysis and all that of compare merge has a homogeneous view of it all, we can accept that change and see the consequences immediately. Of course, we still don't have, on the UML terms, knowledge of the dependencies in here that in fact are encoded in the facade, which is one of the reasons why we want the facade in the first place. So in fact, we would also need to accept that change in order to get a coherent model. And we can go ahead and accept all of these too, because those don't conflict with anything. So there you have a brief demonstration of a step towards mixed mode compare and merge with facades and model content that is not of a facade. Thank you.